That night, it was raining like the sky had a personal grudge against the city. I was driving home after a long day, cold, tired. All I could think about was my bed, a hot shower, and maybe ordering food I would regret later. Then I saw her. She was standing under a leaking bus stop roof, completely soaked, clutching a small bag tightly against her chest. She looked miserable. The closer I got, the more I noticed she kept glancing nervously back into the rain behind her, like she expected someone to appear. Something about her felt familiar. Normally, I would have kept driving, normally, but the rain, the way she looked completely helpless, and the thought of facing God later in prayer knowing I ignored her made me slow down anyway. I rolled the window down slightly. Hey, are you okay? The moment I stopped, she looked startled, almost like she was about to run. Then she saw me properly and froze for a second, thinking. Rainwater dripped from her hair while she stood there shivering. Finally, she stepped closer. I just need somewhere to stay tonight, she said quietly, her voice shaking from the cold. The rain immediately started hitting her harder now that she had stepped away from the bus stop, and before I could even think properly, I unlocked the passenger door. Just get in first, I said. She climbed in carefully, still holding the bag tightly in her lap. The heater slowly filled the car with warmth as I pulled back onto the road. I'm sorry about your situation. Do you live nearby? So, should I drop you home? Even while asking, my brain had already started calculating fuel in my head. If her place was far and I had to drive all the way back across town afterward, I might genuinely not make it home comfortably. Before I could even continue thinking, she looked at me and asked quietly, "Could you maybe help me find somewhere to sleep tonight?" Now I was stuck. Part of me regretted stopping at all, but another part kept looking at her and thinking, no, this woman genuinely needed help, and if someone had to help her tonight, then maybe it had to be me. For the first time, I noticed her face properly. One side looked slightly swollen, like she had recently been hit or gotten into some kind of fight. Is your place really that far? I noticed her eyes watering slightly, like she was trying hard not to cry. Honestly, I didn't even have enough money on me to comfortably put someone in a decent hotel for the night. The nearby places weren't cheap at all. I rubbed my forehead slowly. I'm short of money at the moment. Just tell me where you live. I'll drop you off. The moment I said that, tears rolled down her face. Immediately, I regretted the question. She wiped her face quickly before speaking again. Can I please use your phone to call someone? I handed it over quietly. She dialed the number with shaky hands. As soon as the call started ringing, she panicked slightly and her chest started rising and falling, like she was suddenly scared the person might actually answer. Nobody picked up. After a few more rings, she slowly lowered the phone. They are probably asleep by now. Tomorrow we can try again. I took the phone back slowly, completely unsure what I was supposed to do now, because the truth was, she couldn't stay in my car all night, and I couldn't just drive away either. Look, I do need to get home. Almost immediately, she nodded, then asked, "Can I stay at your place tonight?" What? This lady's got to be crazy. Bringing a stranger home in the middle of the night sounded exactly like how people end up on the news. A small part of me was convinced I'll wake up robbed, if I woke up at all. I was already trying to figure out how to politely refuse when I looked at her, and somehow all the words disappeared. She didn't look manipulative, just exhausted, embarrassed even. I sat there for a few seconds staring through the windshield while rain hammered against the glass. Alright, just for tonight. The drive back to my apartment was awkwardly quiet. Every few minutes she thanked me softly, as if she expected me to change my mind and throw her into the rain. Meanwhile, I kept wondering whether I was being kind or unbelievably stupid. When we arrived, I handed her a towel and gave her 2 oversized shirts to change into. My apartment wasn't anything special, just a regular 1-bedroom place that convinced me I was doing well in life until I visited people who were actually doing well in life. She finally put down the bag and immediately pulled out her phone. The screen flickered once before dying again. After the amount of rain she had been standing in, I was surprised the thing even turned on at all. She placed it face down on the table, then disappeared into the bathroom. A few minutes later, she came back out wearing the clothes, looking much smaller somehow. She sat carefully at the end of the sofa while I turned the TV on, mostly to make the silence feel less awkward. That's when I realized I'd forgotten to buy food on the way home. Unfortunately, my hunger wasn't interested in patience, so I grabbed leftover food from the fridge, reheated it in the microwave, and split it onto 2 plates. I didn't even bother asking if she was hungry. At that point, it was obvious. We ate quietly. I sat on the far end of the couch while she apologized every minute for causing trouble. Truthfully, she looked like she hadn't eaten properly all day. When we finished, I grabbed some snacks from the kitchen and left them on the table between us. By then, exhaustion was finally starting to overpower my paranoia. I stood up and pointed toward the bedroom. "You can sleep in there. I'll stay out here." She immediately shook her head. "No, I can sleep on the couch. It's fine." Seriously. After a moment, she nodded. "Thank you," she said softly again before walking into the room.